Welcome back. I'm Mike Siegel. Not all million-dollar homes come with an exclusive address. You can get a little more bang for the buck if you like to live on the edge. And if you're after design with an attitude, we've got a great place to show you in Midtown Seattle. Worth $1.2 million, it's a unique house with one-of-a-kind artistic touches. In Seattle, the weather may be overcast, but the forecast for real estate is as hot as the coffee. That's even true in neighborhoods that used to be considered on the edge, like the Midtown area. Home to Seattle University, Midtown is just 5 minutes from the center of the city.
It's a changing neighborhood. It's a very old neighborhood. Most of these homes date from right around the turn of the century.
It's a Seattle neighborhood that fell on hard times for a while.
And then the artists started discovering it, and it's sort of going through a second renaissance.
One of the artists who's at the center of that transition is James Nowak. James was living in an apartment next door to his studio when he had the idea of buying the building and turning it into a work of art.
So the house was a triplex, and it was built about the turn of the century, and it was pretty much a tear-down flop house, really funky, not a pretty situation at all.
James bought the property for $400,000, but it would take another $800,000 to go from funky to fab. The end result is an ultra-modern 3-story home in the heart of Seattle. With 2,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and 3.5 baths, the total price tag comes to $1.2 million.
All of my friends think I'm crazy. They said, well, I can't believe that you spent this much money on this place. But I say, well, hey, doesn't it look so much better than it did before?
The house is pricey for the neighborhood, but James likes fine finishes, like the soapstone countertops and mahogany woodwork. As a glass artist, James designed this loft-like Seattle home to showcase his masterpieces. But he's also worked his art into functional aspects of the house, with exquisite decorative details.
This countertop is one of my favorites. It's a terrazzo counter. It has glass inclusions, of which are basically failed pieces that I've saved, and I've broken them up into little pieces. Each one is almost like a fossil.
The shower takes custom tile work to the extreme.
They're all handmade tiles by myself. I individually crafted each one of these. There's over 1,000 of them. We're looking at a $10,000 shower here. And it really, I got to take a lot of showers to get my money's worth out of this one.
When it comes to using glass, this place is definitely cutting edge.
It's a very narrow lot. So we were all concerned with trying to get light into the interior structure, and I suggested to the architects doing this glass staircase. Each of these tiles are hand cast, hand colored. There's over 8,000 pounds of glass in the staircase here.
The total cost of the staircase added up to $35,000, but to James, it was clearly worth it.
And it's a really kind of a unique feeling to be standing on top of glass. You feel as if you're floating or you're walking on thin air.
The glass helps the flow of light, since some of the windows don't let in much sun. But that's only on the sides of the house. From the deck, you'll find a spectacular view of one of Seattle's most famous sights.
Mount Rainier was very important. We wanted to have some grand windows so we could look out at the mountain.
This urban retreat doesn't really have a yard, but there are 2 outdoor patios and a water feature for a bit of serenity.
They're a beautiful combination of colors and textures. And the whole effect is very calming and soothing, and it helps us sort of take the sharp edge off of city sounds.
It's nice to take the edge off, but James wouldn't want all the noise to melt away. This house is intended for those who enjoy the pulse of Seattle living.
It really is in the heart of the city, so there's a lot of street noise, there's a lot of pressure from the urban environment. Personally, I crave that. That's why I'm here.
So here's the wrap. For $1.2 million, you get a 2,800 square foot home with 3 bedrooms and 3.5 baths in a Seattle neighborhood on the rebound. The glass work inside is a labor of love, and when your home is a true work of art, value is a relative thing.
To me, it's priceless.